Naukriya Guftagoo, an intellect talk with industry mentors. Today we are thrilled to have with us Mr. Ashish Mittal, a distinguished Group Chief Human Resource Officer known for his people-first approach and 25 years of global experience in the HR sphere. It spans across CSR, IT, ITES, and education industries. Ashish, an alumnus of Christ College, holds an HR certification from IIM Bangalore and an MBA from Southern New Hampshire University, USA. His career highlights includes impactful roles at the Akshaya Patra Foundation, Infosys, and Manipal International University in Malaysia. But Ashish's life isn't all work and no play. He is an avid adventurer and sports enthusiast, embracing skydiving, backpacking, cycling, badminton, swimming, scuba diving, and marathons. His multi-faced lifestyle and commitment to fitness are an inspiration as his professional achievements. Notably recognized as one of the Asia's 100 power leaders in HR, Ashish has also been honored with several prestigious HR awards. He is a former Republic Day cadet and senior under officer in NCC, exemplifying leadership from a young age. Join us as we dive into an engaging conversation with Mr. Ashish Mittal, a true polymath who seamlessly blends corporate leadership with a passion for adventure and fitness. Welcome, Mr. Ashish Mittal. So, let us move to our first question, Mr. Ashish. How do you perceive the evolving role of a Group Chief Human Resource Officer in today's fiercely competitive job market?
Sure. So I would say it's a very interesting question because the roles of Group CHR has been a lot of challenges and changes at the same time. I would say, to put it in one line, would be to propel technological and drive the change management practices in HR while keeping the human element alive. Most important. Then I would say, considering in today's technological advancement, the shifts in the workforce dynamics, okay, so there is a lot of pressure on the Group CHROs as to how do we drive the employee workforce, how do we drive profitability from our employees, how do we keep the human element alive while still having the business as our metrics. So I would say the evolving role, I would say to a large extent, all the group heads and all the HR heads have to focus predominantly on diversity and inclusion.
Right.
Because today, all the talents, if you look at it, they are looking, all the youngsters, we're talking about the Gen Zs, okay, which is going to form at least more than 50% of the workforce in the coming few years. They're looking to join organizations which actually embrace diversity, because diversity is not just all about managing differences, but it's all about actually accepting the differences and also trying to understand how we can enhance innovation and drive success using diversity. So that would be one element part of it. Second thing would be learning, continuous learning. Report where I was going through, which said by 2030, I repeat, by 2030, 85% of the jobs which will be there do not exist as of today. So, which means there is going to be a huge skill set gap. We do not know what the future is like. So, which makes our role more challenging and more diverse.
Right.
So I would say, as HR leaders, how do we bridge this skill gap? And today we know the World Economic Forum report states that by 2025, more than 50% of the global workforce will have to be upskilled or reskilled. So as HR heads, technologies for continuous learning, because if employees do not get opportunity to learn, if they are not updated, they will not be able to perform their jobs. There'll be huge skill set gap. And I would say, to a large extent, also focus on employee engagement, because employee engagement is extremely critical for the success of any organization. It's important that we learn how to respect employees and treat employees as our customers. More easier said than done. While most of the organizations talk, but at the end of it, how are we really driving this culture? Are we making our employees feeling valued in an organization? Are they getting up in the morning? Yes, I want to go to the office today. So my point is, an employee engagement initiatives will actually play a huge role in driving. So I would say, as group CHRO, we need to just focus on these 4 areas to ensure that we are able to handle the technological changes which are coming in the tier.
Perfectly framed answer, Mr. Ashish. So let's move to the next question. From your diverse experience, could you please share a successful talent acquisition strategy that you have already implemented and that has impacted the organization's growth, so that our audience can also try to implement those positive changes in their organization?
Sure, definitely. I'll share one of the, so what I'll say I actually had implemented is one of my previous organizations, and I'm going to call it proactive recruitment marketing campaigns. Okay. So this would involve actually, first of all, in terms of having a better employer brand in the market, because better employer brand means I'm able to attract a lot of talent. Secondly, have employee testimonials, have employees to share their positive work experiences, because it's best that the message comes out through the horse's mouth directly. There's no point CEOs and leadership talking, rather when the normal employees talk about the practical experience they are facing in an organization, the positive experiences. It could be learning and development, it could be reward and recognition, it could be employee appreciation, it could be corporate social responsibility. What is an organization doing to give back to the society?
Right.
So I would say, so employee engagement to a large extent, and then targeted outreach. It's very important that I understand which is the top and the key talent for my organization, and then do my homework, do the due diligence, and find out where is this top talent sitting, which part of the geography. Point number 3, go deep dive into it and understand what are their perspectives, what are their likes, where do they interact, which platforms are they using, and then use very targeted recruitment campaigns, very targeted messages. So my point is, I'm trying to ensure that my entire talent acquisition team is focusing on a very focused segment, which is actually going to get me the right talent for my organization, which will drive my business results at the end of the day.
Right.
Then I would say, again, I have a lot of employee advocacy programs in terms of what employees are feeling and what are their feelings about the organization, what are the culture of an organization, what are the vision and mission. Today, I mean, gone are the days, where employer would just think. Today, an employees think actually. They have multiple offers. Do I join an organization A, B, C, or D?
Right.
And there are platforms like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, which actually opens your entire Pandora box. Right? So you really cannot fake an employee culture in an organization. So it's very important that we drive the right initiatives. So actually, I would say this proactive recruitment marketing campaigns such as these actually help me. And secondly, I would say also when we have internal posters, someone who has done a good job, publish it, on various social media platforms as well as internal platforms. And again, within the teams, we had an employee recognition program at an individual level, at a team level. So point is, these initiatives actually helped me to focus to reach my target audience and to hire them, which was a very successful during one of my previous roles.
Wow, that's really a nice strategy. What I can say more on that. So what innovative approaches or methods do you believe can attract top talents in an industry market by high competition? As you have already explained about it a little bit in your previous answer, like,
Yes.
like using the social media, promoting them and, attracting. So what all factors are there which were not explained earlier, like new?
Sure. So I would say, first is in terms of authenticity. Ultimately, we need to ensure that we are very open, very vocal, and very transparent about what we are talking. So I would say, first of all, authenticity, again, in terms of it's best when I'm talking about vision, mission, values, have the right stakeholder management, have my top management to talk and share videos. Why did we start an organization?
Right.
What is the goal of my organization? What's my vision and mission? So point is, when employees are aligned with the organizational goals, they know that, okay, this is the vision of, for example, we talk about Tata's, Birla's, and many organizations. So employees are very clear, that we are where the organization is bringing it to. So if they're clear about authenticity, point number 1, that will actually inculcate a lot of trust between the employees and the organization.
True.
Secondly, I said employee testimonials, and then clear value proposition. clearly articulate what's in it for you. For example, what are the cultures as an employer I'm trying to appreciate, accept, and reward. For example, I'm going to drive a performance-driven culture, which means I'm going to reward for very good performance. At the same time, take the necessary steps for people who need training and development, and take the necessary steps if people do not improve, then probably they will be shown the way out. So my point is, if my value proposition is very clearly articulated and clearly defined to the employees right on the first day of their induction, they are very clear what's in it for me, what I can do, what I can achieve in this organization. And then I would say, what are today's generation want to learn a lot? What are the training and development opportunities available to an employee? So these things have to be made very, very clear. And I would say offering flexible work timings, and I would say innovative work approaches. So these are some of the tools which will really help to, I would say, attract the talents,
Right. And apart from that, since this is the era of digital social media, so how an employer can brand themselves so that they can attract the top tier candidates?
Absolutely. See, as I mentioned in terms of employee branding, first is about this testimonials spoken from the employees directly, point number one. Point number two, leverage on social media platforms, including your company website. Have a lot of event podcasts, roadshows, industry, and have a lot of employees to participate in a lot of forums and seminars. Because what happens is when employees participate and when employees talk, the word spreads around. There's a lot of networking. People get to know what an organization is. Today, we see every evening, by default, I'm joining one or the other podcasts in the evenings. I spend about half an hour of mine on my process as a continuous learning. So I'm able to see diverse perspectives, people joining from different geographies and what their views are on one particular topic. Secondly, when you organize podcasts or when you organize such talks and sessions, you are able to attract the talent. You are able to clarify the questions and answers of potential candidates. And the candidates can get to know well in advance what it is to work in an organization of such and such example. So they're able to take clear decisions about it. So podcasts, social media platforms, LinkedIn, and employee referrals. I would say today, when we include employee referrals, it's a win-win situation for me. I would say HR is also a talent retention tool, wherein I try to reward people who are able to refer people who are performing very good in other organizations. And the employee referrals have worked out very good in many of the organizations. That's another platform where we can leverage to show,
one word or in one sentence. So one buzzword that best describes your approach to talent acquisition?
I would say agile talent sourcing.